Hello and welcome to Yorkshire Voice. I'm Abby McClure. Coming up on today's programme, Welcome to Yorkshire have unveiled their new Yorkshire garden at the Chelsea Flower Show. We speak to designer Mark Gregory. We meet the campaign group setting up outside the art gallery in Leeds to help the homeless during Ramadan. And a new installation in Leeds is encouraging people to recycle their coffee cups. But first, Welcome to Yorkshire have unveiled their new Yorkshire garden at the Chelsea Flower Show. The garden opened this morning with Barnsley poet Ian Macmillan performing a brand new poem written especially for the occasion. Here's a time-lapse video of the creation of the garden. Now, I'm delighted to say we're joined by the garden's designer, Mark Gregory, who's at the Chelsea Flower Show now. Mark, what was the inspiration behind this year's garden?
Well, we wanted to basically show a different part of the county, i.e. West Yorkshire. So it's really inspired by the canal that goes from Huddersfield to Marsden, i.e. because it's a very narrow canal, and I could get the scale to work in the garden. So inspired by Yorkshire's very, very rich industrial heritage and how nature has basically reclaimed the kind of man scarring on the landscape, and now we've got these fantastic environmental ecological corridors that people can use for leisure walking, kayaking, and just canal boats as well.
And you've been down at the garden today for the big launch. What's the reaction been like for people who've been there?
It's been fantastic, actually. It always is, but people have been blown away by the scale of endeavour. I mean, it's gritty, it's edgy, it's bold. It's kind of an industrial landscape with beautiful flowers. And it's as much as I'd ever want to do in 18 days of construction. But Jim Carter, who's a Yorkshireman, came on the garden and said, "Oh, you've nailed it." And he was so excited. We've had Dame Judi Dench on, and we've had, you name it, and we've had Hollywood film stars that I don't even know because I'm that old. But it's been a fun.
We just lost you there, Mark, but you've designed nearly 100 gardens at the Chelsea Flower Show. Would you say this is your best one yet?
Well, actually, I've been involved. This is only my 6th design at Chelsea. I've actually built 99 gardens. I built Dubai this year, but this is probably the most ambitious construction I've ever done, and certainly, I think, almost certainly the best design that I've ever done.
That's great, Mark. Thanks so much. And thank you again for that video from Welcome to Yorkshire. That was from Grey Moth. Now, a new installation at a shopping centre in Leeds is encouraging people to recycle their cups. The shopping centre's big recycling initiative is part of the paper cup recycling trail. Orange bins have been placed around the Trinity Leeds shopping centre in a bid to cut waste. Amy Goodall reports.
There's great news as Trinity Leeds Shopping Centre are now providing orange bins that you can put your paper cups into. LeedsByExample, who are part of the initiative, are in the Trinity Centre on most days with different activities in order to get everyone involved.
I'm here today with LeedsByExample, which is trying to encourage people to recycle on the go in the city centre. So we're giving away free reusable coffee cups today because that's one of the main it's a main form of disposable waste in the city. So at the moment it's just happening in Leeds. The council has been really supportive and we're just trialling it here. We've got loads of businesses around the city centre which are on board, and hopefully from this trial they'll take it to other cities. Yeah, so originally it was on a voluntary basis, and we still have quite a few different people volunteer. We work with people from the council like waste auditors, and we've gone and we went to the recycling centre just outside of Leeds and worked there for a couple of days sorting out the recycling from the city centre.
Leeds is definitely leading by example in order to solve the nation's recycling issue. If Leeds keep up to this, Yorkshire will be saving more energy and therefore helping the environment.
And now a roundup of today's other news stories. A woman from North Leeds has gone missing after a night out in the city centre. Hannah Barker, who's 21, was last seen on Merrion Street in the early hours of Sunday morning. She is described as 5'6" and of large build, with nose piercings and tattoos on her left arm. Hannah was last seen wearing black skinny jeans, a burgundy t-shirt and trainers. Contact police on 101 if you have any information. A woman has been arrested following another fire at Ilkley Moor on Saturday. Around 50 firefighters were called out to tackle the blaze just a month after another fire caused significant damage to the moors. The 48-year-old woman was arrested after being seen behaving suspiciously in the area. Now, Leeds commuters have been bracing themselves today after more timetable changes. The summer timetable has come into force after last year's changes caused major disruption. Train passengers were expecting the worst, but it appears the changes have gone smoothly. Major junctions in Leeds were closed this weekend in order to put up a giant crane. The crane was put up to start work on a 37-floor student skyscraper. It will be the biggest building in Yorkshire, have over 750 bedrooms and create hundreds of construction jobs in the city. Now, no one likes facing a big spider in their house, but would you call 999? That's exactly what happened this weekend when a woman called West Yorkshire Police to ask them to remove a spider. This follows another emergency call where the police were asked to remove a pigeon from someone's house. The police are reminding people not to call 999 unless they're in a genuine emergency. A new study has shown that exposure to natural light in the day plays a big role in a solid night's sleep. With many of us working inside, we've become light deprived. The study found a lack of sunlight reduces the length and quality of our sleep and affects our mental well-being. Now, Leeds with the Homeless is a volunteer project which involves the community coming together once a month to help those in need. During the month of Ramadan, the event runs every Friday to help those less fortunate. Our reporter, Anisa Jaffrey, went down to find out more about the work they do.
Leeds with the Homeless run a volunteered organisation to help those in need. The event allows anybody to donate items from sanitary products to clothing and food. I spoke to the organisers and the receivers and asked what they make of the event.
So this organisation today is a project called Leeds with the Homeless, and it's been running for almost 7 years now. And each year what we've done, as it's Ramadan, we've done a weekly special. So everybody, mostly Muslims, come together and they come and practice the one of the pillars of Islam, which is fasting, and they combine it with the other pillar, which is charity. So what you see here today is both pillars combined together, and that's the results you're getting here today. We've had a lot of people participate. We've got quite a lot of people who are becoming long-term here, including the service users. We get a lot of university students as well. We get a lot of people who just want to get that experience of giving back.
It's an amazing initiative. I mean, in this day and age, we just run for life. We always run around for jobs and for careers and everything, and we forget about our other commitments. Like a quote that I always go by from Muhammad Ali: the charity you do for people is the rent you pay for staying on earth. And by going with that quote, it's an amazing initiative and a project for us to do this for the city of Leeds, for the homeless and for the less fortunate here in our own communities and our own city.
Brilliant, brilliant. A lot of people need to come because they are really good and helpful.
Well, what's the point of putting all that money into the Leeds Town, all the scaffolding behind it? What's the point? There's no point, is there? That could have gone into the homelessness.
The organisation hopes to raise more awareness within the community and hopes many people can donate as possible.
It was an exciting weekend in Rugby League as all 12 Betfred Championship sides descended on Blackfield's Bloomfield Road for the annual Summer Bash. 7 Yorkshire clubs featured in the event. We're now joined by sports commentator Harry McMullen, who covered the weekend for Featherstone Rovers. Good afternoon, Harry.
Good afternoon, Abby.
Now, for someone who's never heard of the Summer Bash, can you just explain what it is?
Absolutely. So the Summer Bash is the league taking all the fixtures that would have taken place this weekend and putting them in one stadium in one weekend. So we have 3 fixtures one day and 3 fixtures the next on Saturday and Sunday. They tried to draw out derbies in the week, so all the fans travelling will be able to go see their derbies take place, and it's also accompanied by the Magic Weekend, which is the Super League version of the same event, which will be the following weekend, this weekend at Anfield.
And how did the Yorkshire teams fare this weekend?
Well, the game I covered was the Featherstone Rovers versus the York City Knights, and Featherstone were fantastic. They absolutely took them apart, running in 42-10 winners. Also on Saturday, the Halifax Rugby League side took on the Bradford Bulls, and thanks to a Scott Morrell drop goal late on, Halifax took the 2 points home, winning 21-14. On Sunday, the Sheffield Eagles took on the Barrow Raiders. They took them apart, to be honest, a convincing win, winning 30-18. And the heavy woolen derby between Batley Bulldogs and Dewsbury Rams ended in a 30-14 victory for the Batley Bulldogs.
And it must have been amazing for you to be there. What was the atmosphere like in the ground? It
was electric, to be honest. The big clubs, Leigh, Widnes and Bradford, brought so many fans. Big clubs should be in the Super League, really. And it was nice to see the smaller clubs as well, like Fev, Batley and Dewsbury, bringing fans as well, making noise. And it was a great weekend for the family. People would pack up and travel to the seaside, to Blackpool, bring the family along. There were face paints, there were lads on stag do's. It was just a real carnival atmosphere throughout both days. So it was friendly as well, despite the derbies.
And how do events like the Summer Bash and the Magic Weekend, how do they benefit rugby league as a sport? Well, in this country, there's huge disparity between the funding that goes into rugby union and funding that goes into rugby league. So events like the Magic Weekend and the Summer Bash, they give Super League and the Championship a platform. It also brings in a lot of money, a lot of sponsorship rights come in, and Sky Sports cameras turn up at these games, and they give the opportunity to the public to watch these teams that would not normally get this platform. It's about fan engagement, and it's about making money, which then can be invested into grassroots rugby league, and it benefits everyone in the whole. Just this weekend, we've had the first international game in the Super League, as Catalan's Dragons played Wigan at the Nou Camp in Barcelona. It was a record attendance for Super League, so you can see already weekends like this just give it a platform and then it can grow from there. And Barcelona have actually announced that they're going to be having this fixture back every weekend annually. So yeah, it's about getting bums on seats, it's about pumping money into the sport, and that way everybody's a winner. Thanks so much for joining us today, Harry. Thank you. And now on to the weather. Camilla, how's it looking out there?
Dry morning with temperatures reaching to around 18 degrees, but towards the evening we can expect some showers and perhaps thunder as well, with temperatures dropping to around 11 degrees as well. And overnight it will be dry with clear periods with mist developing later in the night as well. And tomorrow, it's a bit windy, and tomorrow is expected to be a dry day, reaching again 18 degrees with sunny intervals and some moderate breeze as well. And of course, for those who suffer hay fever, be aware the pollen count is going to be high throughout the whole week as well. Well, that's all from me here. Back to you in the studio. Thank you.
And that's all from us today. We will be back tomorrow lunchtime with your local news. Do follow us on Twitter, it's @YorkshireV, where we will be tweeting the latest news and stories. And you can also follow the news on our website, it's www.yorkshire-voice.com. Now, if you've seen any lovely photographs when you've been out and about of the weather, do send it in, and the best photo will be revealed this Friday. From all of us here, have a lovely afternoon. That's it from us. Goodbye for now.